That would have been the whole YouTube video ruined. Thank you. Well, this is a fun way to look at things. Let's see how we go.
It's been a long summer break, but we are gearing up again, and where better to kick things back off than here at Rowrah Kart Circuit. Some genius in the 60s had the amazing idea of putting a kart track in an old quarry, and the result is just stunning. My first time here and it is incredible. Big changes in elevation, undulating sections, positive and negative camber corners. It's even got a lake. I've been counting down the days to this one. So, welcome to Access Karting and GX UK for round 4 at Rowrah Kart Circuit in Cumbria. The weekend starts now. And as always, the weekend starts with practice. And just look how cool this place is, despite it being dark and gloomy. First job of the day is to go and sign on. Then it was on to track for practice. But the day was a mixed bag. It went from dry, cold and slippery to full wet, cold and very slippery. Then dry, cold and dangerous. Then sunny, warm but still wet. And then glorious for the rest of the weekend.
Phil forgot his fuel cap.
But before the practice day was done, I got to have a play in Mike Kenworthy's F300 V-Twin. There's a video of this to follow, but here is a quick snippet.
Whoa! Brake, 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 brake. Here we go. Ooh. Pow, 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 pow. Oh, this is drivable. Oh my god. What a piece of kit.
And that was the practice day done. It was a really tough day with the inconsistent weather conditions. It was really hard to get a handle on the setup, and it actually masked the engine issues that I was going to suffer on race day. So after practice, I felt a bit like this. As race 1 starts, we are heading into the first corner, which is Rowrah Rouge. As we are on the outside, we have Russell up the inside. As we get pinched to the tightly to the apex, we lose 2 places. We are already down to 8th place from 6th. I forgot to turn my camera on, so that's going to go on now. We'll have a little bit of a slide, or I got hit from the back going into that corner. Probably a slide, as Tim comes streaming past me up the inside. Closely followed by Lewis Jones.
Oh, it's been dreadful. We've gone way backwards. The outside line isn't very nice. Oh. This has not gone well.
And what I was very unaware of was it was about to get worse. As we come up to hairpin 1, called McRae's, we come out of the corner, take all the runoff that we possibly can, and then we look up and there is a yellow flag. Now, in the briefing, we were told very sternly to make sure we obey yellow flags. So I have backed off, I have my hand in the air, and I backed off. However, what I haven't noticed is the yellow flag is gone. So because I've backed off too much, Matt has gone past me.
For a yellow. And Matt obviously didn't back off as much.
And that is me yet down another place. And unfortunately for me, the rot does not stop there. As we come down into St John's, there is a Lando car up the inside of me, driven by championship leader Jacob Sharrock, as he is well gone past me and just driven past me. It is at this point that I really start to realise that my engine is suffering, as Tom blows past me, and then a lap later, Brad blows past me.
Just being driven past.
A corner later after that, Adam Holloway blows past me into the hairpin.
Something's wrong.
And then later on in the lap, Sam Hooper also comes past me. At this point, I feel absolutely defenceless, and there's not much I can do. As then Harley comes past. Even with my failing engine, some people don't seem to pull off their moves correctly. But it doesn't matter. Less than a lap later, even though he lost the position to Tom Stalker, who comes through the last corner, he even has time to mock me. Nick is still alongside me into the first corner, and that is me down 2 more places. At this point, I'm dejected. I've kind of given up. The number 16 comes through and actually takes 20th position from me, which means I'm in 21st and I get 0 points for this race.
I think I'm out. I can't drive like that.
Speaking to you from the editing room, I can now tell you that the issue with my engine was a slightly dirty carb, which has all been cleaned out now. I also had a failing and shorting on-off switch on my Kart, which was causing a misfire. Turns out I've actually been having this problem since Wilton Mill, which might explain why throughout the season my performances from race to race have been inconsistent. Thank you to Pete from Monkey Motorsport for identifying this issue and rectifying it for me. So hopefully for the next weekend we'll be up to full strength.
So, this isn't where I normally do my post-race videos from, but as you can see, that last race was terrible. Engine, I think, is gone, so we've had to put on Paul's engine for this heat, so we'll have to see how we get on. We're starting P16, I think it's geared right, it might be geared a little bit high, so we will see how we get on. Race 2 starts now.
And we are off. I don't know where the other half of the grid is, but it doesn't matter. We're going into turn 1. Look far ahead. As you can see, there's lots of carnage, lots of going on front. You've got Harley going off, and then you've got 2 carts off to the right hand side. So that is already up like 2 places. So yay! And then we are coming down into the first hairpin, and we are just behind Dan. And we've just got to make sure we just keep it nice and tidy. We want to have a much better race than we did in that first race. Cover the inside off to the first chicane just in case. But as you can see, I get somebody come around the outside of me and just take off in the acceleration zone. Just absolutely took off. I don't think I took that corner too slowly for him to be able to go past 2 people, but Oscar still wants to have a lunge down the inside as he goes up the inside of me, hits the guy in front of us, and then he goes right across the curb, and I don't quite know where he is at this stage. I don't know whether he is alongside me coming into this corner. He is not, so I've managed to get rid of him for now, but I know Oscar is much quicker than me, so he's going to be coming through pretty soon. I'm still trying to figure out this engine as Oscar is up the inside into the final corner, and I'm just going to think, right, I'm going to follow him because I know how quick he is. Now, as we watch Oscar, look at this run that he gets out of Rowrah Rouge, and gives him the absolute opportunity to have a go at Ben Webster into the first hairpin. I'm too busy watching them to actually realise that there is a car trying to have a go at me up the inside, but I managed to just about hold them off as they let me get back onto the circuit. So I have to go a little bit defensive into this second hairpin to line myself up to try and keep my position, but also try and get Ben Webster ahead of me. I think at this stage I am probably a little bit quicker than Ben, and the guys behind me are as quick as me, if not a bit quicker. Ben runs a little bit wide. I get balked down on the exit of the corner, which means I've lost a little bit of time, which gives the guys behind me the opportunity to line me up. Now, interestingly, I had no idea that this guy was up the inside of me. I had to get out the way. He doesn't leave me enough room to keep me on the circuit, and as he runs me off the track, Alex Horn comes past me, and Paul is on the outside of me now as well. So now Paul drags alongside me. I have to go quite narrow here, so it gives Paul the entry into the second part of Rowrah Rouge, and that is me down 3 places in the space of 3 corners. All of a sudden I have contact. I don't know who the contact was with at the time. It turns out it was Lewis Jones. That is on me. I was looking to the left to sort of get myself back into position, and as I pulled back to the right, I had absolutely no idea Lewis was there. I actually think I caused him quite a bit of damage, so my apologies to Lewis on that one. As I see this lot fighting up in front of me, I managed to get right up to the back of them as they're all there, so I'm like, right, I can get back in this fight. But as I do, you can just see that through all of this, the three of them still just pull away from me. So where Paul's newly built engine should be really, really good, I'm actually really struggling with it at the moment. I think I'm driving quite well at this point, but yeah, I don't have anything like the guys in front, and I'm just losing time hand over fist. So as we crest over Rowrah Rouge, you can see that Ben is being the cork in the bottle. You've got all three of those guys swarming all over the back of him, going in all sorts of different directions. Gives me the chance to catch straight back up to them, and it looks like me, Alex and Paul all want to go down the inside, and Ross and Ben are on the outside. As we come through the corner, we get all close together, something happens, and we see somebody's front chassis protector come flying towards us. And as we kind of gather ourselves together, me and Ben look at each other as to say, "What the hell is even that?" Well, at that moment, I didn't have time to think what that was. We were going three abreast into the bottom right-hand corner as Ross swoops in front of me, but I'm up the inside of Ben, so poor Ben has lost 4 places in basically one corner, bless him, and that is now me trying to chase after Ben. We've already lost touch with Alex and Paul, but Alex and Paul are very quickly catching up on our football star Tyler Nicholson, who got ahead of us at the beginning of the race. So let's see what happens when we all catch up with Tyler. So we pick up this battle a little bit later on as Paul has got himself past Tyler. Tyler is doing a valiant effort to defend from Alex. Alex, though, has got a good run out of Rowrah Rouge and has a look up the inside into the first hairpin, gets the move done. As he does, Tyler brakes very hard to get the undercut to come back, but doesn't know that Ross is there. Ross collects into the back of him, and then I get collected into the back of the both of them, and they get stuck together. Disaster.
Everyone just stopped.
So after that mess, I find myself a fair gap behind Paul and behind Alex, and they are both a little bit quicker than me, which means I'm going to really struggle to catch them up. So I'm probably going to be stuck here in this current position unless something else happens. And a lap later, it does. Alex clonks a curb and knocks his chain off, and that is Alex out of the race. So my attention now is to catch, or at least try and keep up with Paul ahead of me, and then hopefully score some decent points to actually get some points on the board for this particular day. With only a minute of the race left to go, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. There's no one really anywhere near behind me, so it should be pretty plain sailing all the way through as we come up through Rowrah Rouge into the second hairpin, get a nice run through there, use all the curb on the exit, head up towards the second hairpin. But unfortunately, as I come through the second hairpin, I lose all drive. I don't know what's happened. I think my chain's come off, so I need to get to a safe place to go and have a look. So at this point, I'm not really sure what's happened. So I pull off to a safe-ish place to go and have a look. And actually my chain is still on, so I don't quite understand why the cart has stopped. So I have a quick look around and get back up and then try and start the engine. The engine starts, so I'm like, oh okay, and it moves. So right, let's get back out there. I push the cart back onto the track to try and get going again, but as I sit down, there's nothing. So I know something's broken, the cart won't move, so I have to drag the cart off the circuit.
What just went? Throttle cable went. Yeah, throttle cable went. Damn it! Well, this is a day that's gone from bad to worse. Well, this is fun. I am being pushed back to the pits. I mean, I don't want him to push me up the hill because that'll really kill his engine, but thank you for pushing me back. I appreciate that. Thank you, Adam. That's funny.
And what you saw there was the true ethos of access karting. When someone's in trouble, somebody is always there to give a helping hand. That is what we want, and that is why I stick to this series.
Track's clear, let's go racing.
So here we are for race 3, starting way at the back, and the whole place slows down. Damien's off to the left, don't quite know what he's doing over there. Get walked down, lost a place, but then gain another place back thanks to Damien. And now we head down to turn 1. This race is frantic. Lots of stuff happens here. Have to keep a good eye on. As you see, Matthew Roberts, championship contender, going sideways on the exit of that corner again. Spoiler alert, we will see him again. As we head into the second hairpin, everybody else is side by side. We've got a little bit of a clear run, so I'm just trying to eye everybody up, make sure nobody is diving down the inside of me into the bottom corner as they all jostle for position. There's 3 or 4 carts, 5 or 6 carts going for one place. Ollie Smith on the left in the number 44 cart gets bogged down a little bit, and Russell goes to the outside, so I decide to push Russell. I hit on the back of him and I push him through, and he gets through and I get through. Up another position, off to start a new lap.
You're welcome, Russell!
But what I don't realise as I'm coming through this last corner is that the infamous and very quick
Ronnie Pickering
was trying to have a go at me into turn 1.
Oh, we've done it slow both this down, Ronnie.
Despite him slowing us both down, he was still able to get past me 2 corners later. However, this wasn't the last time that me and Ronnie will be battling into hairpin 2.
Ronnie goes quicker.
As we roll it on a little bit, we find ourselves in contention again with Mr. Webster that we had from a couple of races ago, but this time it's a little bit easier. I managed to just throw it down the inside into the first hairpin and take that position. He does manage to get a small overcut on me, but I'm very much insistent on staying on the inside. He doesn't manage to get the overcut back on me and stays behind. And a little bit later we are battling with Oliver Greening as we come through Rowrah Rouge, as we go over a bump and I lose my camera. I'll have to come back for that a little bit later, but for now let's get back on with the racing. So while I gradually lose touch with Oliver, the guy that built his kart is now alongside me. Tim Kansas has a look into the fast right-hander. We go side by side through the left-hander, but I leave him the space. And unfortunately, he hasn't come alone. I said he'd be back, and the number 2 in the championship, Matthew Roberts, is also through. That is 2 places lost in basically 1 corner. That's really frustrating, but Tim has been rapid all weekend and we all know how good Matt is, as Matt has a look up the inside of Tim and gets the move done, and that is Matt up another place. Considering he was sideways after lap 1 or 2, that's a pretty impressive comeback. At this point the race seems like it's settled down a bit. Everyone's sort of a bit close, nothing really much is going on. However, all of that is about to change. As you look into the top corner, you see Ronnie go up in the air. Tim has to cut right across the front of me. Really scary. I don't quite know how Tim stayed on the circuit. Luckily everybody was okay, despite the fact that Ronnie was chilling out on top of somebody else's car. So let's see what happened here, shall we? So Ronnie is here, and we are going to try and keep an eye on him to see what actually happens. Now, as Ronnie exits our frame, he's absolutely fine. He exits our frame for 1.04 seconds. When he comes back into frame, this is what we see. Ronnie up in the air, parked on top of football star Tyler Nicholson. So now with that carnage out of the way, surely in the final 1.5 minutes, there can't be any more carnage, can there? So straight after the incident, there is about 6 of us going into the stewardesses, 3 of them side by side. It's about picking a lane, and unfortunately Russell picked the wrong lane. As he goes to the inside, Dan gets slowed down on the outside. Dan brakes really early and we go past Russell. Russell and Dan both lose a whole bunch of places, but I gain 2 places on the inside of that as we go through the final corner. As we skip forward another lap, we are about to start the final lap. I'm behind newly off novice plates Joe Harris as he goes side by side into the first corner with Ash King. Ash is on his first ever outing with GX UK, and it is a trial by fire because last night he was at Teesside doing the 24-hour and winning it all the less. However, the man is exhausted. He's never driven this track before or these karts before, so he is still very much learning, and I want to take advantage of that, and I would very much like to get past him, gain a few more points, and hopefully avoid being in the B final. As we come out of the Stuart S's, I am super close. I'm having a think about going down the inside, but I don't quite manage to make it. We go through the fast right-hander. I get a really good swing through the fast left-hander, and I get a really, really good run as I think about looking up the inside, but I don't quite get it. Ash then gets a little bit wide on the exit. I tighten up my entry, and I just miss out on getting up a position. That race was super fun, so let's get back to the pits and find out the point situation and see if we have made it through to the A final. But first things first, I have to go and pick up my missing camera.
Did my camera come? My camera came flying off. You see the camera? Came off through on the exit here. Thank you. Alright, so this is actually the first proper to camera post-race thing I get to do, because it's just been an absolutely manic day. That race was fun, really good fun, I enjoyed it. Came 13th from 16th, so I went forward, I got some points, but I'm still going to be in the B final. I don't know where I'm starting in the B final, I don't know if that grid is up yet. Where's my phone? Let's have a look, let's see if the grids for the B final are up yet. So yeah, so we're going to be in the B final, don't know where I'm going to be. I have 7 points, I don't know where it's going to put me. I don't know whether that's going to put me at the front, the middle, or the back of it. But for somebody at the front, maybe we can win it. That's the aim. Let's try and win a B final. Let's go do some racing, shall we? So, we find ourselves in unfamiliar territory. This is the B final. I'm on the front row. Mr. Ash is next to me, because you saw us go side by side at the final, at the line in the last race. That's what decided the grid. And then we got Ronnie as well, who can't see me. So yeah, we've kind of had a conversation, which is top 6 go through, let's just get on with it, and not try and kill each other, and let's just try and get through to the A final, because that's the important bit. But anyway, let's go B final.
So as we cross the line to start my first ever B final, my plan is to stick as close to Ash as possible. If there is a pace difference, I will try and overtake him, but also then try and monitor what Ronnie is doing behind us. At this stage, I am already aware that Ronnie is quicker than me, so I have no interest in actually fighting him if he tries to have a go at me. As we go into Iredale's, Ronnie is right up behind Ash, pushing him forward, so I get a good run around the outside, get on the power nice and early, and manage to actually draw alongside and actually draw ahead. I haven't managed to do that to anyone all weekend, and I swoop into the Stuart S's and manage to take the lead. Now, at this point, my aim is to go. Get away as quickly as possible, hope it takes Ronnie a little while to get past Ash, and then I can have clean sailing until the end of the race. However, as I stated before, Ronnie is very, very fast, so I do have to be wary of him. So what we're going to do for the rest of this session is be on Ronnie watch, because I'm not just going to play this footage of me enjoying the lead of the race. And the best place to monitor where Ronnie is from hairpin 2. And on lap 2, he is still in P3. And on lap 3, he has still not made any progress and is still in P3. Let's keep going. Now he is making the move on Ash, so I have really got to get my head down. So with Ash dispatched, we are going to monitor the gap, and the gap now sits at 3.01 seconds. A lap later, and he has taken nearly half a second out of me. I'm in trouble.
Definitely catching me.
Yes, catching me hand over fist.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh indeed. Must keep pushing.
Oh crap. He's getting really close.
Ronnie, you have DRS. Ronnie's not going to run out of time. I'm going to have to fight for this. So with a minute 25 left and feeling the pressure, I make my first mistake into the Rowrah Rouge, and as I do, I know Ronnie is hot on my heels. He's pushed me down the straight. It is time to white line it and defend massively. As there's a spinner on the exit of the corner there, what I'm now thinking now is I'm going to white line it all the way to the end, and then just before the end I'm going to pop out, and as I do, we have contact. I hit the side of Ronnie, completely my fault. I back off a little bit so he doesn't lose too much time on me. I have given myself a little bit of a gap, but I did not mean to come across on Ronnie there. We had the same idea, but he managed to come across first. And as we come across to start the penultimate lap, I have a contact warning, which is rightly deserved. I mean, if this was last season, I'd have got a penalty for that, but they're not doing that this season. I have a small gap to Ronnie, so I take the line that I want to take through the first hairpin and get a good run out of it up towards the second hairpin. However, I do know that Ronnie has a very strong engine, and he's been very quick in this final sector of the lap, much quicker than me. So I take the defensive line to keep him behind me, but I notice I do have a little bit of a gap, so I can open it up and take my normal line through. As we start the final lap with Ronnie breathing down my neck, I cannot afford to make even the smallest of mistakes. I have to do my best defending, so we white line it all the way down to the hairpin. Ronnie goes around the outside. I labour a little bit on the exit to make sure he can't get on the throttle and can't just shoot round me. He does have the pace advantage on me. He now has the line to the left hand side of me. We go through this corner side by side. He doesn't manage to get the run around the outside of me, so I do have the inside line for the Stewart S's, and this is going to make it very, very difficult for him to overtake. But I'm going to have to go very, very narrow, which is going to compromise my exit, which means Ronnie is going to be able to come out of the Stewart S's and going to be able to get alongside me.
Oh my god!
Ronnie's got it!
And with Ronnie up the inside as we go into St John's, I have no choice but to hang on around the outside.
Ronnie's got it, surely.
Oh my god!
That was great fun. We both had the same idea, and you did it first.
We got through here.
I don't know, is a warning a penalty or is a warning a warning?
I think it was a warning. I mean, you was in front, so...
66.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? So, yeah, really strong battle with Ronnie there. Lots of respect. My bad. When we had the contact, my intention was I'm going to hold the right hand side for as long as possible and then jinx to the left just before the end. He had done it before me and had got alongside, and I just didn't see he was there, so that's on me. I got a warning for that. Luckily no penalty, so I do keep my first place. So my first place in Access Karting is in the B final at Rowrah, but me and Ronnie had a mega race. I'm very proud of that move on Ronnie in the fast right-hander. Pleased I managed to pull that off, and that Ronnie was good enough to not crash into me, so that worked out really well. Thank you, Ronnie, for an excellent race. He was incredibly rapid. That's like top 5 pace that he had in that race, so I knew I had to get away. Alright, should we go to the A final? Another race. I'm exhausted.
So, here we are. By the skin of our teeth, we have made the A final. As you can see, I'm in the second lane, right near the back, with only 6 people behind me. My nemesis from the last race of Ronnie Pickering! Yeah, so, let's just see if we can go forward. You know, we shouldn't be back here. You know, we've had lots of issues today. My engine going pop, and then a DNF. So let's see what we can make up. But we've got Jacob Sharrock on pole, Oscar Priotti his first front row start, Matthew Glazebrook, who has been, at time wise, the fastest person this weekend, followed by Matthew Roberts, then Bradley Philpott, and then an amazing performance from Simon Dean, and then you've got Tom Angia, and then Paul, and then everybody else. Here we go. So, for the final time at this wonderful track in Cumbria, Rowrah Racing, let's go.
So as the lights go out on this 12-minute final, it is all about just trying to get as high up as possible. But that's not great because we've already lost 2 positions straight off the start. Oh well, let's see if we can make more up here. So as we come into the corner, we're kind of stuck in the middle. We have to take the tight line. Unfortunately, I tried to take a super tight line, lose all my revs, bogged down absolutely entirely.
Oh no, this has gone really badly wrong. We are lost.
And yeah, we had dropped all the way to last place by the 3rd corner. But fortunately we get a really good exit out of that corner. We managed to take 2 positions back straight away, and Elliot goes down the inside of the cart number 39. Cart number 39 gets bogged down, so I managed to follow Elliot straight through, and after losing all my places to the back of the grid, I've made 3 of those places back up nice and quickly. So this is all a little bit of a tussle going through the final corners of the lap, just everyone trying to sort themselves out and get themselves in the right position to see where they end up. Now, I mentioned Elliot before in the number 36 cart. He is the person we are going to be following for the majority of this race. You might remember Elliot. Elliot was the one who came and hit me while I was facing the wrong way on the track at Landau. If you want to see what happened there, go watch the video up the top. As he goes up the inside of Ben Webster, Ben gets half a spin on, so I managed to get a nice free spot there, and I continue to chase after Elliot. As we rolled on a lap, we are both now chasing Ronnie Townsend. As we get into their double hairpin, I get walked down, I take too much curb, and I lose a whole bunch of time. I get very frustrated, but we are going to keep going. However, Ronnie is suspiciously slow. Considering that he was about half a second a lap faster than me in the last race, the fact that me and Elliot are swarming all over the back of him is a little bit suspicious, especially when Elliot is able to pull out halfway down the straight and just drag alongside him into the chicane. But I don't have any time to be sympathetic because I just want to get past him because I want to catch up and pass Elliot, who seems to every single time we get past somebody, he manages to gap me by 4 or 5 cart lengths, and I have to do all the work of catching him back up again. So as we roll on a few laps, I have managed to catch back up to the back of Elliot, and he has caught up with the fighting Ross Deal and Nick Barnes, and as they go side by side into hairpin 2, Elliot is having a look up the inside of Nick, but Nick will take that faster line around the outside, but actually then gets bogged down by Ross going up the inside of him, and then I am shoving Elliot up the inside of him. Nick is now in complete no man's land as we go through the Stuart S's side by side. We have a tiny bit of rubbing side by side, but I managed to get through, and poor Nick, through the course of basically 1 corner, has lost 3 places. But as you can see, yet again, I have lost 4 or 5 cart lengths to the back of Elliot. However, we then roll on another few laps, and I have caught him again, but now they have caught up to the back of Joe Harris, and Ross pulls a lovely move into the Stuart S's to go to pass Joe, and then leaves it down to me and Elliot to cling to the back of him to try and get past also. However, one thing I have found with Joe after battling with him in fullback is he is a very staunch defender, so getting past him is not going to be easy, as he has another look right up the inside of Ross Deal. I don't think Ross was quite expecting that and shoves it right back down the inside. However, he's then run a little bit wide, Ross has come up the inside, and so has Elliot and Joe bang wheels as they go through the chicane. I then smell blood, I dive to the inside to have a go into hairpin 1 as I get up the inside of Elliot, but I bang the curb and I don't manage to get the run on the exit out of there as Elliot gestures to me to have a think.
Don't tell me to think. There's no more place to get.
Yeah, Elliot, I'm just focused on overtaking you as you pull a great move into the Stuart S's, but as always with the move there, it leaves you vulnerable on the exit, and Joe goes to the outside. He thinks about having a run, I think he's got the speed to, but then he kind of wobbles halfway through the middle of the track and kind of walks me down. So yet again, Elliot has made a place up and then left me with somebody to fight. However, as we come back down to the Stuart S's, it looks like Elliot has fallen asleep. He has completely and utterly missed the corner. Joe dives down the inside, but doesn't get a good drag out of the corner. Elliot gets a really good drag, I follow Elliot through, and we manage to both sweep past him into the fast right-hander. So, as we head into the final lap, it is me right behind Elliot with no one directly in front of us, and I finally have a chance to have a go at him. My aim now is to line him up, get as close to him as possible, and maybe have a go at the stewardesses or at the second hairpin, because I'm not quite close enough to have a lunge here. So what can I do? So let's set it up, get ready, and as I go for the turn in, Joe comes from absolutely nowhere and wipes me out.
What are you doing?
As you can tell, I wasn't very pleased with Joe from that move. It was quite a desperate attempt, as he was quite erratic and went for a move from absolutely nowhere.
Fuck's sake, Joe. Too desperate.
And what that desperate move from Joe means is I'm not going to definitely pass Elliot like I was going to on this final lap.
That was fun. Oh well, that was a fun weekend with lots and lots of trials and tribulations. Thanks for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe, and maybe we'll do better next race if we can have a working engine. We shall see. Anyway, thanks a lot. Goodbye.